The holidays can be really stressful. And when you add grief on top of the stress of the holidays, they can just be downright overwhelming. I know this all too well. I've had a lot of loss in my life, and it took me a long time to figure out how to enjoy the holidays again without my parents. And then most recently, without my grandmother, who was the matriarch of our family. So I want to share some of the things that I found help me get through the holiday season and allow me to even enjoy them again. Because for a long time, I didn't enjoy the holidays at all. It was just a reminder of my parents and other loved ones who weren't there anymore. So, the first thing that you need to understand with grief and the holidays, and really any milestone, so that first holiday season without your loved one, that first birthday without your loved one, the first Mother's Day without your mom, all of those firsts are going to be very challenging. And if you prepare yourself for that ahead of time, it allows you to move through it a little more gracefully. You can expect the feelings that you're feeling and can kind of get ahead of it. So that's the first thing. You need to accept and understand that the holidays are not going to be the same. And once you do that, you can move into creating a new normal. One of the things that I have done, so my mom passed away right before, well, and let me back up. So holidays for me haven't been the same since my dad passed away when I was 14, over 25 years ago. He loved Christmas, just loved Christmas, and would stay up all night playing with the toys that Santa brought. And so the holidays and Christmas really haven't been the same for me since he passed. We did have some semblance of normalcy with my mom and stepdad and my grandma and grandpa and my aunts and uncles. We'd get together with them every year, and it was great. It was, it wasn't the same, but it was bearable, and we still enjoyed ourselves. Then when my mom passed away 8 years ago, she passed away right before Thanksgiving. And it was really hard. It was really, really hard. And so for the longest time, leading into the holiday season, because my dad's birthday's in October, and then my mom's passing and Thanksgiving in November, and then Christmas in December, it was just really, really hard. So what I started to do is create new traditions that honor my parents and celebrate them. So what I've done to make my mom's passing anniversary less sad is, even though it's before Thanksgiving, because she also loved Christmas, I started a tradition of putting up Christmas decorations on the anniversary of her passing. It really helps honor her, really helps make the day less sad. And, I spend the day honoring her. I jam out to Tom Petty and classic rock because that's what she loved. And her and I would dance to Tom Petty in front of the fire every Christmas and just put up the Christmas decorations. And, I have a lot of her old Christmas decorations that she loved. And so I always get those out and talk to her while I'm doing it. So that really helps. If you can start a new tradition of some sort, to help with that process and to help memorialize them or honor them in some way, that can really help turn your grief and sadness into remembrance and being grateful for all the good times you had with that person and really honoring them. So I encourage you to do that. Another thing that really helps just in the journey of grief in general, but especially during the holidays when emotions are heightened, I have a playlist on my phone and it's titled Missing Mom and Dad. And when I'm feeling down about them not being around and I'm really missing them and just feeling sad, a good cry really helps to release those emotions and move through it and then be able to go on your day in a more joyful state. So I turn on this Missing Mom and Dad playlist and I just allow myself to cry my eyes out. I sing to the songs, I cry, I talk to my parents, get out anything that's pent up, anything I need to say. And I just allow myself that time. So that's another thing that can be really helpful. I think a lot of us, myself included, for a long time, it's like I would just try to repress those feelings like, oh, don't be sad. You just got to move on with your day. But that's not healthy. So we need to allow ourselves the time to grieve, to have that good cry and let all that emotion out of our bodies. So whatever way you can do that, my Missing Mom and Dad playlist works great. If you're not, a music person, another thing you can do is just sit and write a letter to them. Write in your journal or wherever you'd like, but write your loved one a letter. Tell them how much you love them, how much you miss them, update them on anything they've missed out on. And of course you'll probably be crying during this process, but it's really healing to get all of that out on paper. So allowing yourself the time to have a good cry and to be sad, to feel those feelings is important so that you can move through them and release them. Another thing you can do is, and it depends, and you're going to have to decide where you're at with this, but sometimes carrying on traditions of the loved ones you lost can be too much and it can be overwhelming. It actually makes you sad instead of happy. So if that's the case, you may not want to carry on traditions and you may want to change them or make them your own in some way, or even create brand new ones. But oftentimes too, carrying on the traditions can help honor them, help make your memories happy, and kind of keep them close during the holidays. So one thing that my parents always did was buy us a new ornament for the tree every Christmas. And so I've carried that tradition on with my daughter, and she's only 3 now, but it's fun. And I'm going to carry that tradition on, and we put them up on the tree. I literally have ornaments from when I was in grade school, like 30 something years ago. I have ornaments on my tree. So my tree is not the kind of tree that's super fancy and has all the pretty balls and this and that. But it has sentimental memories. And, I think personally it makes it more fun. I'm not the fancy tree kind of person. I like to have my sentimental ornaments on there. I like to get my daughter her new ornament every year and she gets excited to put it on. Currently our tree has all the ornaments around the bottom, but you get my drift. You can carry on some traditions like that, that really help you feel close to the ones that you've lost. Another thing I'm doing now that my grandmother has passed away, I got her rolling pin and her cookie cutters. So we're making Christmas cookies with all of my grandmother's stuff, which just makes me feel close to her and allows me to honor her in that way. So, it's hard. Grief in the holidays. I mean, grief is just hard in general, but during the holidays when you're supposed to be happy and joyous and all these things, there can be a lot of pressure. It can be a lot of pressure to not feel how you're feeling, but I want you to know that it's okay. It's okay to feel how you're feeling. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to not want to even do the holidays, especially the first time around. It's really hard. But doing some of these things can really, really help. You also want to set boundaries. If you usually do an all-day extravaganza with the family and you don't feel like you can do all day, that's okay. Just let your family know you're going to come for a couple hours and then you're going to have to go home. And hopefully they'll be okay with that and honor your boundaries and what you need. Another thing is just give yourself some self-compassion. You're hurting and it's okay to hurt. We love so hard, and then that leads to grieving so hard when the loved one is gone or no longer here. So just know that it's okay. It's okay to feel sad and to not want to partake in some activities. And that's okay. Maybe you can try it again next year. So don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself some self-compassion and allow yourself that time. Another thing I use often is putting a time limit on my pity party or my grieving party, so that I don't allow myself to go into a dark place, because that's not helpful for any of us. So if you can, that's why my missing mom and dad playlist and routine works so well for me personally, because it's like if I'm feeling those feelings, I can say, okay, I need to have a good cry session. I need to let it all out. I put on my playlist. I move through it. I cry. I yell. I scream. I do whatever I need to do to get it out and to feel better. And then once I'm done, it's like, okay, I feel better. Thank you. I love you guys. And I can move on with my day. And I do feel better. I don't think, I hate the phrase time heals everything, because I don't believe that time heals losing a loved one. I believe that we get stronger as time goes on, and we learn strategies that help us cope better as time goes on. But losing a loved one is something that you don't ever get over. You don't ever truly heal from and forget losing a loved one. It's just not how it works. So allowing yourself those times to grieve and be sad, but then also committing to honoring them and memorializing them in a way, instead of being swallowed up by the sadness, is really, really a good strategy to take on. And it's really very helpful. And that's one of the things that helps you get stronger and stronger. Each time you do those things, you get stronger. It hurts a little less. The holidays suck a little less. So, just keep going. I know it's hard. And my heart just goes out to you. I'm sending you so much love and light. If there are family or friends that you can share memories with your loved one, that's always a fun thing to do. My brothers and I like to share memories of our dad when we were little, and how Santa would have all of the toys out and set up for us to just play with. Santa didn't wrap presents in our family. That's another tradition I've carried on with my little one. And then also to share stories about our mom. And it just, it can be sad sometimes, but it really helps to talk about your loved one. It helps keep them near, helps keep them involved in the holidays in some way. And also, another thing, I strongly believe that just because we can't see them doesn't mean that they can't hear us, and that doesn't mean that they can't talk to us. Updating my belief system has been one of the biggest things that I have done that's had the most impact. Because I know that they're still here. I get signs from them all the time. So I know when I talk to them, they can hear me. I know that they're still here celebrating with us on Christmas and any other holiday, any other special occasion. I just know. I can feel them. I get signs. So anyway, if you're interested in tapping into that side of your religion or spirituality, I would love to help guide you down that path and teach you what I have learned so far. But back to surviving the holidays. I know it's hard, and my heart goes out to you. I'm sending you so much love and light, and saying prayers for anyone who's struggling with grief during this holiday season. I feel your pain. It's rough. You've got to get to your new normal, and that takes a while to do. So just be easy on yourself. Do what you need to do. Don't worry about what anyone else says or thinks or tells you. You have to honor yourself and what you need. So know that that's okay. And it's also important not to allow yourself to get stuck in a dark place. So it's okay to be sad, but also don't get stuck. And I hope these tips help a little bit. I know grieving is, grieving is different for everybody. Everybody handles it differently. Everybody moves through it differently. The stages of grief go up and down and ebb and flow for everybody. So you gotta honor what's good for you and what makes you feel better. And and that's okay. So I hope these tips help you a little bit, give you some ideas or some starting points that you can work with. And I'm praying for you during this holiday season. I'm sending you so much love and light. And like I said, I hope these help even just a little bit. Take care.